When a person first comes to the Dominican Republic as a tourist, they see beautiful beaches, palm trees, the warm ocean, restaurants, hotels, and people who are in no hurry. And it's very easy to imagine that life here is an endless vacation. But a vacation and permanent life are completely different things. Today I want to talk not about the pros and cons of the Dominican Republic, but about the things that many people initially misunderstand. Because the main mistake is trying to judge the Dominican Republic by the same rules we use to judge Canada, the US, or Europe. The Dominican Republic is not a bad or good version of North America. It's a completely different model of life. The first mistake is to expect things to work as efficiently as in Canada or the US. We're used to making appointments for a specific time, getting exact deadlines, and planning life by the minute. In the Dominican Republic, things work differently. A person might say they'll arrive in the morning, but morning often means practically the whole day. Repairs, furniture delivery, internet connection, or paperwork can take much longer than you expected. At first it's annoying, but after a while you start to understand that Dominicans just have a different attitude toward time. For them, human interaction is often more important than a schedule. This doesn't mean that nothing can be done here. Almost everything is possible. It's just that many issues are resolved not through official forms and emails, but through personal relationships and a conversation over a cup of coffee somewhere in a cafe. In Canada or the US, it's often enough for a person to know the correct procedure. In the Dominican Republic, it's much more important to know the right person. And when you surround yourself with reliable specialists, a lawyer, an accountant, a realtor, a property manager, a handyman, a doctor, life becomes very simple and comfortable. The second mistake is thinking that life in the Dominican Republic is very cheap. Indeed, many services here are inexpensive. A housekeeper, a gardener, pool maintenance, locally produced groceries, and dining in small local restaurants and cafes are very cheap by North American standards. But imported goods, high-quality household appliances, furniture from well-known brands, and products from North America can be quite expensive. Therefore, the cost of living depends not only on the country, but also on your habits. You can live an incredibly comfortable life by using local goods and services, or you can try to fully replicate a North American lifestyle, and then the savings will be significantly lower and less impressive than you expected. The third mistake is thinking that after moving, you'll spend each and every single day at the beach. In fact, people who live permanently near the ocean don't actually go there every day. After a while, the ocean gradually ceases to be perceived as a tourist attraction. It simply becomes a part of your everyday life. You know it's nearby. You can go there any time, but you still have work, meetings, family matters, and everyday chores. However, something else changes. After a work day, you can go for a walk along the ocean. In January, you can have breakfast on an open terrace. You don't have to spend months every year fighting the cold snow and short daylight hours. These daily things, in my opinion, change the quality of life much more than the chance to lie on the beach every day. The fourth mistake is expecting all your problems to vanish after moving. The Dominican Republic can change the environment, climate, and pace of life, but it can't automatically change the person. If you were constantly unhappy, anxious, or didn't know how to relax, just changing countries won't necessarily solve those issues. Moreover, moving can create new challenges. Some stress, a different language, a different culture, paperwork, finding healthcare, choosing schools for kids, starting a business, and building a new social circle. So, moving shouldn't be an escape from your old life, but a conscious transition to a new one. The fifth mistake is thinking the Dominican Republic is right for absolutely everyone. Some people come here and within just a few weeks realize this is their place. They love the climate, the openness of the people, the lack of stress, the sea, and a much more peaceful life. Others miss the organization, the usual level of service, fast delivery, clear rules, and a fast pace. And that's absolutely normal. There's no such thing as a perfect country for everyone. I generally don't recommend selling everything and moving immediately to a country where you've only spent 2 weeks on vacation in a hotel. First, you should live here for 2 or 3 months, not as a tourist, but as a regular resident. Buy groceries yourself, pay bills, get around town, talk to local professionals, and handle everyday chores. Only then you can understand if this kind of life is right for you. And finally, another mistake is seeing the Dominican Republic only as a place for retirees or vacations. Today, entrepreneurs, investors, and remote specialists are coming here. Many are moving with their entire large families. The country has changed a lot over the last 5 years. Infrastructure is developing by leaps and bounds, with modern housing, complexes, medical centers, international schools, shopping, and tourist facilities being built. But at the same time, the Dominican Republic has kept what many developed countries have lost, a sense of ease in human connection and living not just for work. And in my view, that's where the true essence of the Dominican Republic lies. The Dominican Republic might not give you a more organized life, but it will definitely give you a more vibrant one. Comfort, connection, and a lack of stress. Here, people actually live. They don't just survive. Here, you'll have to wait longer for some things. Sometimes you'll have to remind someone about your request several times. Sometimes plans will change at the very last minute, but at the same time, you can get more sun, more socializing, more time outdoors, and much less stress. So when considering a full relocation or buying property in the Dominican Republic to spend long periods of time here, you shouldn't ask the question, is it better or worse here than in Canada, the United States, or Europe? It's not better or worse here, it's just different. It's better to ask yourself this: what kind of lifestyle is right for me? Perfect countries don't exist, but there is a country that at a certain stage of your life can perfectly match your priorities. For one person, strict order, advanced government systems, and predictability are more important. For another, it's the climate, freedom, natural food, the ocean, and the chance to live without stress. The Dominican Republic doesn't promise a perfect life, but it gives you the chance to set your priorities differently. Spending less time commuting, the cold. That's definitely not what the Dominican Republic is about. The Dominican Republic allows you to spend more time on family, health, socializing, and sports, to travel around the country and to enjoy life itself. The main mistake isn't that some people misjudge the Dominican Republic. Perhaps many simply haven't asked themselves for a long time, is the life we're so used to in North America actually organized the right way? See you next time.